Hey everybody, time for my post-fight breakdown and picks. Gotta own them. That's right, Jimmy Smith, post-fight. This is UFC on ESPN 53 edition, Hebos versus Namajunas. So, gonna go over my picks. Went 3 and 2 on the card itself, on the main card. So, we start off with Youssef Zalal versus Billy Quarantillo. Zalal owned him. I wasn't that surprised. It was a close fight. In terms of beforehand, I think Billy Quarantillo, who I picked, was like a minus 150 favorite. I thought he'd have to take some punishment and then walk Zalal down and start using his chin and his pressure to get the fight back. He got on his heels early and never got off of them. Zalal did a great job landing power shots when he needed to, doing great work on the ground, basic but solid work on the ground, keeping physical pressure on Billy Quarantillo, who is usually the guy bringing physical pressure on opponents. He flipped the script on him. Well coached. He's Factory X, Mark Montoya, great coach, good friend of mine. And Youssef Zalal just looked really sharp. Almost finished him the end of round number 1, survived into round number 2, which is going to be a theme here. And then Quarantillo fell to the rear naked choke, was a minute 50 into round number 2. One-way fight the whole time for Zalal. That was impressive. Not that he won, but that it was so one-sided. I didn't see that coming at all. But Billy Quarantillo taking a big step back in the division. Featherweights. Peyton Talbot. Cameron Simon. So 0-1, because I picked Billy Quarantillo. Peyton Talbot was a guy, when he made his UFC debut, I went, all right, this kid's got that it factor. He's got a little something where I remember you. And not just, the post-fight dance and all that stuff. Not just he's, the hair and he's a good-looking kid. It's his ability to be explosive and really get it done in the octagon. It kind of, makes you go, man, this kid might be something special in the future in a crowded bantamweight division. Cameron Simon, good fighter as well, trains with Dracus du Plessis. I picked Peyton Talbot to win it because of that little X factor of explosiveness. I thought he was a better athlete than Cameron Simon. This fight was damned impressive. And the most impressive thing to me, when you look at round number 1, he catches him with a flying knee. Now, in the replay, you saw it hit the shoulder, then the jaw. That's why he didn't go straight out. But it knocked him back. Simon's on his butt. Talbot's got him hurt, goes after him. What I love about this sequence, is he attacks and attacks and attacks. And there's a moment when he realizes Simon's not going out right now. Simon's still dangerous, has enough to answer back. Okay, and he takes a deep breath and he resets and goes, okay, back to work. Tried to get him out of there. It didn't work. Got to go back to work. That is a veteran move. That is the move of somebody probably really well coached. And that's something you try to teach guys, is you have a guy hurt, you want to get him out of there. That line of knowing when to pursue and when you're over pursuing and you're going to blow all your energy trying to finish somebody, that takes real touch. You gotta feel where that line is. How much gas do I have to try and really get this guy out here to the point where I can come back and still fight if I can't get him out of here? I thought Talbot did that absolutely perfectly. He went after him, couldn't get it, reset, and went back to work. You kind of go back to zero. Right? Stay behind the stick, use your right hand, use the things that hurt the guy in the first place. So Peyton Talbot showed real maturity to me in that round number 1. A lot of guys coming into that fight, inexperienced, hadn't fought a whole lot, are going to screw that line up and just spend a bunch of energy when they don't have to. Reset, went back to it, got the finish with a beautiful left hook, 21 seconds into round number 2, a little bit of ground and pound on top of that. He kicked Simon's ass. Now, as I said, the difficulty going forward is 135 is really tough. It is stacked with veteran guys. One thing about Talbot that I would change, he's really tall in his stance. He kind of hangs his chin up as he's attacking. So he was very hittable. Simon really didn't have the power to come back and equalize things, but Talbot looked a little too hittable, especially when you're dealing with veteran guys who have real power and real accuracy. You cannot be an easy target. That's the one thing about Talbot. In exchanges, he tended to get hit. He hit harder, so, he's winning the exchanges, but you don't want to do that moving forward. But Peyton Talbot, to me, he opened my eyes last time he fought. I think a lot of fans now went, oh, man, this kid may be something special. So, anyway, there you go, 1-1 on my picks. Edmund Shabazian, AJ Dobson. I picked Edmund Shabazian to win. He did win 4 minutes, 43 seconds into round number 1. But the Edmund Shabazian we thought might be a title contender when he came out and, he shellacked Tavares with a head kick, right? Brad Tavares. That guy wasn't there. For people who don't know about Edmen Shahbazyan's past, he was a guy that early on, man, he was in his early 20s, man, I'm going to be the youngest champion ever, blah, 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 blah. Beat some decent guys, Darren Stewart, Brad Tavares, like I said, with a head kick. Then he took on the gatekeeper, Derek Brunson, got TKO'd. Took on Yak Hermansson, lost by unanimous decision. Took on Nasruddin Imavov, another up-and-comer with real talent, got knocked out. So, and then Anthony Hernandez. So you saw, all right, this guy's really good. Let's test him. And he failed the test. He just didn't beat the guys he needed to beat to be considered a contender. The AJ Dobson fight, when I broke this one down initially, when I was making my picks, I saw this as the UFC's effort to kind of rehabilitate him. Right? The UFC can do one of two things. Then we can go, okay, you're not going to be a contender. Tough kid, 26 years old. We saw what we're going to get out of you. We're going to feed you to another Nasruddin Imavov kind of guy, an up-and-comer that we want to put something behind. You're the veteran name, the young eat the old, even though 26 is not old, but in fight terms, right? And they gave him a guy who's 1-2 in the UFC. So I said, okay, they want him, they think they can get more out of Edmen Shahbazyan, and this is his chance to reset. Well, AJ Dobson came out and hurt him in round number 1. Clipped him, hurt him. Shahbazyan seemed a little tentative. I think a guy like that, talented but young, you start running into adversity, you start doubting, am I really that good? And I've seen this happen a million times with a million up-and-coming talented guys. Jimmy Crute, for example. You start going, man, am I? You start hesitating. You start going, God, am I really that good? Do I deserve to be here? All those things go through your mind when you lose to some veteran guys. And maybe if you lose this one, your career's on the line. And I kind of saw that tentative, tense, nervous energy, and it cost him. He was a little stiff, and he got hit early, got rocked. AJ Dobson, once again, not a great fighter, wasn't able to capitalize on it, wasn't able to do everything he could do with it, had his opportunities. Shahbazyan stayed in the fight, and they got into an exchange, and Dobson fell down. And seeing it in real time, I didn't see the shot, and I went, okay, maybe it's in the replay, I'll see it. Nope. He just kind of caught Dobson off balance. He just kind of fell over. As soon as Dobson was on the ground, Shahbazyan has nasty ground and pound and just unloaded big punches. And that's another experience thing at the elite level is when someone's on top of you landing good ground and pound, it takes a veteran guy to slow a fight down and stay safe and think, okay, what do I have to do? Because you kind of panic and this dude's on top of you, he's wailing on you. And if you're not able to slow the fight down in your mind, which comes with experience, it's a very vulnerable position to be in. Avoiding the TKO ground and pound when you're on the bottom is a veteran thing. And AJ Dobson's not a veteran. And he just kind of was just a sitting duck once it was on the ground. And Edmen Shahbazyan can hit. So that was it. Got the TKO right before the end of round number 1. 4 minutes, 43 seconds of round number 1. Shahbazyan gets back on track. But I saw the same vulnerabilities of, this dude is, he beat AJ Dobson, but I don't see the contender level guy that we thought we might see a few fights ago. So, good news, bad news. Carl Williams. Anybody remember Carl the Truth Williams? Probably not. I'm super old. Boxer Carl the Truth Williams. Fought Mike Tyson, got knocked out. Fought Larry Holmes when he was undefeated. Yeah, that's doing some boomer stuff here. Anyway, Carl Williams, different Carl Williams, taking on Justin Tafa. I picked Carl Williams to win by decision based on exactly what happened with Justin Tafa, which is Justin Tafa started out throwing some big punches, kind of stunned Carl Williams early because Tafa's very, very heavy-handed. As soon as he wrestled and all this was done, Carl Williams, decent wrestler, took Justin Tafa down every single round with basic takedowns. His ground and pound was good and not great. I don't think he had Justin Tafa ever really hurt or rocked. Or no stop fight-ending moments that I thought were going to happen. It was just once he got on top, Justin Tafa, much like Tai Tuivasa, has at best blue belt jiu-jitsu and isn't able to relieve physical pressure with his guard or anything. And so Carl Williams was able to take him down with pretty basic takedowns. Now, I want to elaborate a little bit on this. When you're facing a better wrestler, right, and you're going to get taken down anyway, I remember talking to Josh the Punk Thompson about Frank Shamrock against Tito Ortiz, which is a classic fight. You guys should all watch it. Is he wasn't going to fight Tito's takedown. What he was going to do is make Tito work really, really hard as soon as he took Frank down to avoid all submissions and sweeps and everything and wear Tito out. It wasn't about necessarily sprawl and brawl. It was about, I'm going to make you work so hard on top because you're unstable that your gas tank gives out before mine does. You always want to make a wrestler, even if you're fighting a guy who's probably going to take me down, at least go for that second or third effort on the takedown. Okay? Because that first effort, go to the second or third one, takes a lot of energy. And if the simple snatch single leg takes you down, well, you just got a takedown almost for free because it's so easy. The first one works. Even if he's going to take you down, you want to make sure, all right, single leg, I stop that. He has to go high crotch, and he goes double leg. At least I'm making him work really hard to get to that position, and his gas tank is going to suffer late in the fight. We didn't see any of that. Carl Williams' first effort generally worked. And so he's down on top. I have more energy than you. I'm almost always going to win. And that's what happened. So Justin Tafa, much like Tai Tuivasa, just showed a vulnerability on the ground that's always going to keep him out of the elite level. Got to stop at least the basic, simple takedown of a guy who, ain't going to the Olympics anytime soon. So Carl Williams ends up winning by decision over Justin Tafa. That makes me 3-1 on the night. Heading into the main event, I picked Amanda Ribas because it was like -2.5 or something ridiculous for Rose Namajunas. Here's my problem with the way Amanda Ribas fought this fight is you have a weight advantage. Rose Namajunas coming up to 125 pounds. Amanda Ribas is not a gigantic 125-pounder, but she's a little bigger than Rose Namajunas, a little bit stronger. In an outside ticky-tack kind of fight, in a fight that's at range, requires a lot of accuracy and versatility, your weight advantage doesn't mean anything. The best example ever is Forrest Griffin and Anderson Silva. They were at range the whole time. Well, you can be bigger than Anderson Silva, and you can be more powerful than Anderson Silva. You're not going to land any punches. And at that range, you're not imposing your size on anybody. You're not turning it into a grapple fest. You're not doing all the things where size matters. On the outside, in once again, a ticky-tack, rangy kind of fight, Rose Namajunas can win that kind of fight all day. There are people that can beat her on the outside. I don't think she beats Shevchenko on the outside, but you got to bully her to win. And Ribas never bullied her. She never made it a gritty, dirty fight, leaning on somebody. The kinds of positions where that natural strength advantage or weight advantage becomes a factor, right? So I thought she made some tactical mistakes, not making it that kind of fight. The takedowns she did go for were head and arm throws. They were risky. They were not very smart, in my opinion. The head and arm throw in wrestling and judo is great. It's not good in jiu-jitsu. It's not good in MMA. Someone pulls they just shrug their shoulders and they end up on your back. Or they roll her, which is what Namajunas did as well. She kept going for this stupid head and arm throw, which is just not very useful in MMA. So even when she would get the takedown, it was this head and arm throw that was easily reversed. So I thought strategically she didn't get in there and make it the kind of dirty fight. She was content to win on the outside. Now, she won round 5 on the outside, but she gave up too many rounds getting there. And I thought tactically she could have done more in this fight. But on the plus side, Rose Namajunas looked sharp. She looked good. She looked confident. As I said, breaking this one down pre-fight, she's a little bit of a head case. So it's about, you look for those mental ups and downs. She looked solid. And I think she's going to be solid at 25. Is she good enough to beat the Erin Blanchfields? She already lost to Manon Fierro. Does she, beat Grasso and Shevchenko? That, I think, is going to be very, very difficult. But she's going to get the opportunity to get there because she's going to be top 10 now. So, 3-2 on the night. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Like, subscribe. Really appreciate you.